The ones that hate me the most look just like me. You tell me what that means. Make a slick comment and see what that brings. I seen it go down, we can reenact things. Extreme like BMXing. These boys pussy and they PMSing. People in the city see the movement occurring and say, my God, I wanna be in that scene. Damn right you wanna be in this scene. She had the video trying to be in this scene. Used to fantasize about being this scene. Bluegrass girl, but she got big dreams. Can't touch me, I got instincts. Locked in the house, but I'm plotting things. I brought a gang to the party with me. 5 white boys, but they not in sync. Fuck what y'all think. Fuck everything that you say about me. My dogs like to play Madden in 2K, but one thing they don't do is play about me. My homeboy Tyler, he playing South Beach. He told me this summer he gon' fix my jumper. I told Boy Wonder that we might got a thumper. I've been trying to pop, now I'm on like Shumper. Now they on my bumper. Green room chock full of all my comforts. Hotel room like heaven on earth. Got angels in my bed with some all white covers. Ace Pro Nemo, Lucci and Kiso, Sloop Clay Tufo, and I got a few more I call my brothers. I got a lot of flows and they all like butter. You know what that means. I came home nice, but I'm going back mean. I'm about to glow trot when they know a vaccine. Motherfuckers act lost, but they know exactly what's going on. Made a mill and I don't know where to blow it on. I tell a critic shut up like my show is on. Give a t-shirt to a set.
Welcome to 23 people here. We reached a major milestone tonight. Hit 500 subscribers. So before I get into all the stocks and all the requests and everything that you guys have been dropping, I want to say thank you for 500. That's pretty much my first major milestone, and this whole entire journey has been insane. Like, I really support all of the hype and all of the people that are coming out to the streams, following me on Twitter. It's probably been like a month since I started really posting on Twitter and making live streams and stuff like that. So to hit 500 is a huge deal, and thank you to every single one of you. But nonetheless, we are here to chart. Welcome to 25 people here. Thank you guys for all of the support. Nicholas, Caption, Chris, Eric, Jay, Commando, Joe, the other Joe. I don't know. A lot of people here appreciate it. And we already have a lot of chat requests. I'm going to try my best to get through everything, but there's just so many, so I'm kind of just going to have to pick and choose. But yeah, we're going to get started with Fisker, and then we're going to move on to Ping, GTBIF, BNGO, GME, LCE, Netflix, TTCF, CTRM, Neo, all of them. I mean, I'm going to try and get through as many as possible, but you are going to have to give me time to go through each one. So let's finish up the intro. If you support what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. Can we get all the 23 people in here to hit the like button for 500 subscribers? Literally just smash that like button and let's get right into it. If you want to send me a tip, it's the first link in the description. So those are all like the things I like to say at the beginning of the stream, get that engagement up, and let's get into it. So we're going to start off with Fisker, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the assets. If the volume's a little bit weird, just let me know. I didn't really check it too much. I was playing around a lot with the streams, trying to figure things out. So Justin is saying, what are my thoughts on the potential short squeeze on Fisker, as well as Jim Cramer talking about it over Neo. Hey, thank you, Chris, telling everybody to smash that like button. Make sure you hit it. 23 people in here. You have no reason not to click a little button for this free analysis. Let's get to it. I think Fisker could get a short squeeze. Thank you, Olivier, for the subscription. But yeah, the short interest on Fisker was pretty high, but I think today somebody put out a tweet saying that there was like a 35% fee to short Fisker right now, or something like that. And I don't really know anything about how that works. But I think just based on the fact that we've been holding the uptrend pretty well, I don't think we're getting those major shorts that we were getting when the price was like under $11. I think those people have all covered out, and I think it could be debated. The short squeeze already happened. But then again, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the short interest. It's kind of hard to find it with the new ticker. But what I do know is the technicals. So let me get started off. And we're going to start with the 30-minute. There was a little bit of diamond pattern, but really the real story today was nothing. There was pretty much no price movement. I'm literally pulling out the magnifying lens just to show you guys. But yeah, there was literally like a 10 to 15 cent range that it was in for like 3 or 4 hours today, and it broke out of it for a little bit. I tweeted about it, but then it hammered back in the range to close out the day, which was pretty bullish. And then after hours, it went up, I think, like another 30 cents, but correct me if I'm wrong. And Jim Cramer talked about Fisker on Mad Money. I have not seen the video. I don't know what he said. I think people in a group chat I'm in were telling me that he was just comparing it to Neo and saying it's like a better buy than Neo currently, which I would not argue with. Neo is, in my opinion, overpriced. I think it went up really a lot in a really fast time, and I think Fisker is a much better long-term value hold. That's not to say Neo is trash or anything. We'll look at Neo later. Yeah, you were in this like 10-15 cent range today for a few hours. Alright, so Justin's pretty much confirming that that's pretty much what Jim Cramer said. So yeah, the 10 cent range, I pretty much put out a tweet saying if it closed over 13.95, I think that's bullish. Simply because if you look at the 30-minute MACD, it's about to go to green, and that can confirm 30-minute hidden bullish divergence, which pretty much means that you made a higher low in price and you made a lower low on the MACD, which is bullish, and it pretty much implies uptrend continuation. The thing that's pretty much been the issue today, and also a little bit yesterday, is the VWAP. It's really been struggling to get over the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. So yeah, it's just been using that as resistance. It's like this top blue line that you can see. And if it can break that, I think 14.99 will be next. And I'm just showing you guys the 30-minute chart, not because it's reliable. It's really not that reliable. But again, if we just look at the higher time frames, everything is fine. On the 1 hour, it broke out of this falling wedge. I posted on my Twitter last Friday, pretty much said it should bounce off. I said it should bounce off 10.35, and that's exactly where it bounced on Friday. Then it formed this falling wedge and broke out of it. And since then, it went up 30% after breaking out of this falling wedge. So if you want updates like that, follow me on Twitter. It's in the bottom left of your screen. That's the 1 hour. Then the 4 hour, it already hit the target. Remember, I made all these targets when the price was $9. The target was $13.55, and that obviously broke. And the reason that that was your target was because it was a past support for a couple months, and then was also in your golden zone Fibonacci retrace of the downsloping channel. So that's why $13.55 was the target when the price was $9. Now, why did I put out a buy signal when the price was $9? Because you had a bullish butterfly harmonic on the daily, and that's an advanced pattern. I'm still learning about harmonics myself, but I noticed it on Fisker, and I posted it when the price was like right around $9, and that's where it bounced off of. And my target for the bullish butterfly was 15.35, which is the C point. That's how you target a bullish butterfly, and 15.35 hit yesterday. So not only did the 4 hour trade I posted hit the target, and that was like a 50% gain for the midterm trade that hit the target, and then on the daily, the long-term trade hit the target of 15.35, which was the 65% profit. And then after that, it's pretty much you got to get over 15.35 again. If you can get over 15.35, there's really not much resistance until $18. It's just going to be hard to get over 15.35. So the easiest way to currently look at Fisker is stay above 13.55, and you're probably going to test 14.99 next. If you can break 14.99, I'm probably going to say there could be a very quick rally to $18 within a couple of days. But on the bear side, if you break 13.55, 12.51 could be next. And the reason I'm saying that is because 12.51 was the support on September 4th and September 24th, and it was your resistance on October 21st and November 2nd. So if we break under 13.55, 12.51 can be next, if it's going to be the bearish situation. But then you also have the 200-day moving average under you to help you with support. 31 people in here crazy. Thank you guys. We're gonna look at all the chat requests. I'm gonna get into that in a second. But for the 31 people here, if you support the free analysis, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you want to send me a tip, it's the first link in the description. But yeah, that is Fisker. Holding about 13.55 for a long time can really get you to higher prices. Or breaking under 13.55 could bring you down to 12.51. And yeah, hype about 500 subscribers. Now we're going to move on to chat requests. Thank you to the 33 people here. I can't even believe it. It's really like a dream come true. I love doing technical analysis, and getting to share it with other people is awesome. So now we're going to get started with chat requests. Let's start off with ping from Jonathan. And I'm going to go through all these charts super quick because it's just like 20 different requests I have. So we're going to run through them. Let's start off with ping. And guys, I'm literally going to speed through these. No divergence on the 4 hour. Daily, no divergence. And then currently at a support. That was your resistance in March. So it could bounce here, but there is no divergence. And it got crushed after earnings. If 2143 breaks, probably 1948 would be next. That's the quickest summary I could give you for ping. You don't use PayPal. Venmo. Nah, it's fine, bro. If you're just here supporting the stream, it's all good. I'm not gonna, give out my Venmo and stuff. If it doesn't work, it's all good. Don't worry about it. So that's ping. Now we're gonna move on to GTB IF. But give me 1 second, Justin. Actually, I want to see if that is even set up. Yeah, nah. Unfortunately, I can't, but I really appreciate the kind gesture. So, Green Thumb Industries. Not too sure about what it is. This was requested by Joe. And it's currently broken the resistance. It also had hidden bullish divergence. And there is no bearish divergence because you made a higher high on your MACD. And then in terms of support, 1645 could be a support. But then again, this is a high flyer, so who knows. And the best thing I can do for you here. Alright, I'm gonna follow you on Twitter, Justin. Let me hit you with the follow, and then I'm gonna get back to it. Justin Hoskins 9. Alright, bro, I got you with the follow. Appreciate the support. So let me pull out some Fibonacci for this chart to give you some targets from high to low. You're currently at the 2618. Hey, yeah, Fisker to the moon, bro. Appreciate it. So the 2618 could be a reversal area. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's take a look at Neo. Let me move over to the 1 hour. And Neo hit a 4236, which is just another fib extension. So all of these levels, 1618, 2618, 3618, and 4236, can be reversal areas. And GTBIF is at one of those potential reversal areas, which is the 2618. If it can break that, then you have the 3618 at 2238. And in terms of like a short-term support, you had a high at 1997, so that could be a support. But yeah, it's a high flyer. It's going to be very volatile. Just be careful with that one. Yeah, I do have the free version of TradingView. I have had the paid version before. It's just like I don't really use that many alerts, and I feel like the paid versions are mainly for alerts. And if you want additional indicators, I only use 3 indicators, which is volume, VWAP. Well, VWAP is built in. I use volume, RSI, and MACD, so I don't really need the paid version for anything. But if you want a link to TradingView, it is in the description. And so that's TBIF, and then let's go to BNGO, which is a biotech. There was divergence on the 4-hour, and since it created bullish divergence, it went up about like 15%. And yeah, so the way to target a breakout like this is you obviously had a downtrend or resistance line. Just trying to keep up with the chat. PLTR, we'll take a look at Palantir, newly IPO'd company. So the target for this would be your 618, which is 57 cents, and that also lines up with the previous support of 57 cents. So 57 cents could definitely be a reversal area for BNGO, and then support could be 53 cents, which was your support on September 15th, and it was your resistance at the end of October. Butterfly, FV, are you asking if the butterfly is on FVAC, which is what you requested, Narissa? Just confirm that for me and I'll try to take a look. So that is BNGO. Now we're going to move on to GME, which is something I actually talked about on stream yesterday. I literally said on stream it could bounce off of like 1070. It hit 1083, and after it hit 1083, thank you for the subscription, Miguel. It hit like 1080 or whatever, and then it went up 10%. So literally last night I looked at GameStop. I said there was an upsloping demand line, there was 4-hour hidden bullish divergence, and if it retested like 1070, it could bounce there. And that's exactly what it did today. It had a 6% day, but it also went up 10% at one point after, if you bought like the lowest point and then you sold at the highest point, it was a 10% gain. And the place I did say to buy was literally 1070, and it went down to 1083, so very close. In terms of the future, I think it can easily run up to 1275. Might see some resistance there. And then the daily also has hidden bullish divergence, which implies price continuation to the upside. So the way to look at GameStop is if it keeps on holding this demand line, it should be in an uptrend, and whenever it does break out the demand line, which it will eventually, take caution. And then another thing to take caution on is the earnings on November 25th. But yeah, the MACD looks good, the RSI looks good, and it had a nice bounce today. Yeah, I mean that's why I initially looked at GameStop, because of the console releases, and I thought maybe let's take a look at the chart, and the chart looked good. Looked at it last night, and then it bounced today. I don't know if this is the best entry area, because you also have like a mini resistance at 1189, could not close over that today. So I don't think this is the best entry area. Probably look for another opportunity, because this is already up 200% since August, so this is probably not the place to enter. I would say the best place to enter would have been today at the low, but yeah, it could see 1275 if it breaks 1190. Thank you to the 30 people here. Make sure to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Now we're going to move on to LCA, which is right here. And LCA is currently in a channel. It actually bounced off of the demand line with a bullish pin bar. But take caution, because there is hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. Let me try and line that up for you. Frog. Oh, you wanted me to take a look at BNGO if it had a butterfly? Alright, I'll do that in a second. Let me just finish up LCA. So yeah, hidden bearish divergence is being created on LCA, which means you made a lower high on price, but you made a higher high on the MACD. And if it goes back to red, that'll be confirmed hidden bearish divergence. So take caution. If it falls under 1282, there's not a lot of support until 1137. And then on the daily, there was hidden bullish divergence, and it's been playing out good, but then today you got a lower level of momentum, which means it could start falling again. So what might happen is it might retest this upsloping demand line, and if it breaks out of it, you're probably going to see 1137. But if it does bounce off the demand line, you could probably come up to fill the gap at $13.50. So that is LC8. Now I'm going to go back to Bingo and see if I can find a butterfly. XA. I don't know if this is what you want me to be looking at, but let's see if this is a butterfly. X, A, nope, B, C. It's like a weird butterfly. It's not a textbook butterfly by any means, because your X to B point has to be a 0.786, and this is 0.582. So that was not a deep enough retrace for the butterfly. But the price did go down to pretty much a 2-6-1-8 double golden ratio, and that's where it bounced. So let's say this was a real butterfly. The target would be about like 64 cents. I think I messed up a little bit. Let me lower that 1 second. The target would be like, yeah, around 64 cents could be the target if it was a real butterfly. But it's not really, because you didn't get a 786 retrace from X to B. But that is BNGO. Really close to a butterfly though, so good luck on that. And then we're going to look at Netflix. Again, I have a lot to go through, so if you just typed one, it might take me some time to get there. Maybe come back in 5 minutes, or just enjoy the free analysis, whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to help everybody out. So Netflix has a big support at $469. It bounced off of that support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times. So $469 is a major support. No divergence on the 4 hour. Kind of classic bullish divergence, but that's it's not really textbook. But there is classic bullish divergence on the daily on Netflix, which is implying a price reversal to the upside, which you're already kind of starting to see. So let's go back to the 4 hour. Hey, appreciate the support, Connor. I will definitely take a look at frog. Just give me some time to get there. And good luck on that potential butterfly, or almost butterfly. So yeah, Netflix, the target would just be the gap fill to about $510, and your support is $469, and you have classic bullish divergence on the daily. So Netflix actually looks pretty good. I think $510 could easily come pretty soon, and it's not a bad chart. It's pretty bullish in my opinion. So after Netflix, we're gonna look at TTCF. I think, was it the daily that looks the best? Yeah. So hidden bullish divergence was being created, and it kind of played out, and then it just really failed after that. It did go up 27%, but then it dropped down, and it's kind of near 1606. So 1606 is a big support. So being above that is good, but falling under it could not be good. And just be careful, because the MACD looks like it can go back to red soon. And there is a double top here. So yeah, basically if you can hold $16, you're probably going to go to higher prices again. Might even double bottom. But if you cannot hold $16, you're probably going to come back down to $13 or $14. So you just want to stay above 16 on TTCF. And I will take a look at OPK and LMNL. Just give me some time to get there. So now we're going to move on to CTRM. Again, for the 27 people here, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Trying to get a 1K within a couple months, and thank you guys for 500 subscribers. Blew my mind. And CTRM looks pretty bearish to me. It's at an all-time low pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm probably just gonna skip this chart. The one thing it does have going for it is classic bullish divergence on the daily. You made a higher low on the MACD but a lower low on price, and I think that's why you're starting to curve upwards a little bit. It might fill the gap at 14 cents, but your support is about like 12 cents and your resistance is 17 if the classic bullish divergence can play out, but the macro trend is just really bad, if I'm being honest. If you were to have held this, you'd pretty much be in a loss. And that downtrend has not been broken out of at all, so be careful. On CTRM, yeah, I'll definitely take a look at LMNL. Have 3 different people talking about it, or 2 different, so I'll for sure take a look. That's CTRM. Now we're going to move on to Workhorse, which is something I currently own, and I think it looks pretty good. On the daily, you have hidden bullish divergence, higher low on price but lower low on the MACD. On the 4-hour, it is a little bit iffy. It's kind of like a bear flag, but it's on the upper half of the bear flag, and it closed above 1918, which was the resistance. So I'm thinking the bear flag might not play out because it did close over 1918, and it's on the upper half of the channel. It just recently broke above that on Monday. So the 4-hour does give me a little bit of worry, if I'm being honest. But the 1-hour is the real play here. 2 different bullish patterns. You have an ascending triangle, which it pretty much broke out of today with the 1920 close, and then you also have an inverse head and shoulders. So the way to target this would be you go from the lowest point to the resistance line, you copy and paste it, and then you put that on the breakout, and that would give you $23, which also lines up with a previous resistance from October 16th. So if the TA is respected here, $23 could be next, but it just needs to keep on closing above $19.12. And if it doesn't do that, definitely take caution because of the potential bear flag, but it's just super far from breaking out of it, so it should be fine. But yeah, I mean, this is the trade that I'm taking. The entry was about like 1915. The stop loss will be around like 1878, and my take profit level will be around $23. I think it looks good. We'll have to see if it plays out. Tight stop, not trying to risk too much on it because of the bear flag. I have a tight stop, but you have to make your own decision on that, and that is Workhorse. Looks pretty good to me. Yeah, actually, I definitely want to go over Neo, and believe it or not, Charles, Neo is actually the next thing I was going to regardless, because that is what that's what Justin requested towards the beginning of the stream. So we're heading over to Neo, and my stop loss for Workhorse is like 1878, and the reason for that would be you'd be falling back into the ascending triangle, and you'd be breaking the $19 support, and then you'd also be breaking the 1888 support. So my stop loss is 1878. If I do get stopped out, I might re-enter if it comes to retest the demand line at around like 18 bucks. So hopefully that explains the stop loss, Nico. Now we're gonna move on to Neo, but of course, Nico, my stop loss might not work for you. It really just depends on how much you want to risk and where you entered at. So that's why I really don't talk about stop losses too much. Always have a stop loss, but I can't really say where you should have yours because there's just so many factors that it depends on. Like, everybody should have their own stop loss, but a stop loss is always a great idea. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's great education. So thank you for the chats, Nico. So now we have Neo. No divergence. The whole entire story of Neo was I posted it at $39 saying it could probably backtest 36. That's exactly what happened. Then I said it could bounce off 36. That's exactly what happened. Then I said if it broke $40, it could hit 44. That's exactly what happened. All of the proof for that is on Twitter. Literally said all four of those things. 4 different price movements in a row I predicted. And then I also said at 44 it could reverse because that's right around the 4236. Literally every single one of those things is on my Twitter. Like a 4 for 4 call on Neo. If you want calls like that, follow me on Twitter at ChampionVibe. And still around this 4236, it actually back tested $40, which I think I talked about yesterday. So let's make that 5 for 5 on Neo. And I'm not trying to brag, I'm just trying to explain how you can use support and resistance levels and Fibonacci to tell where the price might anchor down to or anchor up to. But yeah, now it's around 44. So now my new call on Neo is it'll probably come up to 44.58, and that could be a reversal area for a double top. But if it breaks 44.58, it could literally go to 50 because that's the next psychological resistance and there's no Fibonacci extension after that. So the two potential scenarios here are double top in pretty much this exact area, or break the previous all-time high and probably run up to $50 pretty fast. But of course, it's not financial advice, even though I did get like 5 different calls on Neo in a row. Each time I get a good call, the chance is lower that the next one will be good because that's just probability. So I might be wrong here, but that's why I'm showing you both the scenarios. There could be a good or a bad one. It could reverse literally right here, or it could break the previous all-time high, and then there's a decent probability it will see $50 if it does break like 45.28. If it breaks 45.28, you could probably see $50. So yeah, that's Neo. Yep, I'll definitely look at Fubo. Oh my gosh, Print is here. Everybody, I want you to drop a hype in the chat. Just type the word hype for Print. Print was actually my first person to ever tip me. He tipped me last night, and I really appreciate the support, Print. It means a lot, and you're also one of the most active chatters of the stream. So shout out, Print. Just really humbled by that. And thank you, Malachi, Nico, and Narissa for typing hype. Shout out, Print. And since he tipped me, we're gonna go straight to Fubo. We're going right to Fubo, Print. Thank you for the tip, man. So let's look at Fubo. Thank you to the 31 people here. Like 80% of my viewers aren't even subscribed. So if that's one of you, literally just hit that subscribe button. I think we hit 5. I'm pretty sure we definitely hit 500 subscribers today, because I was at 502 last time I checked. So thank you guys for that, and appreciate it more than you know, Print. It means a lot. And thank you to Nicholas, Armand, Eric, Ahmet, and Joe for also typing hype. Man, I'm loving the chat engagement. Let's keep this thing going. Now we got Fubo. And again, I went over Fubo last night on stream. I said $21 could be a reversal level. And the reason I said that was because it was your price after hours, and that was right in between the 3618 and the 4236 Fibonacci extension. Now what happens when you get to the 4236? Thank you for the subscription, Armand. When you get to the 4236, as you can see on Neo, it fell down all the way to $40. When you got to the 4236 on XPEV, I don't know what time frame chart it's on. Let me try and see. All right, 4 hour. When you got to the 4236 on XPEV, it dropped down to $30 from 38. So the 4236 is a very real reversal area, and that is what I noticed last night on stream when people told me the after hours price was $21. So literally last night on stream, I said it could probably reverse right at $21, which was also, now I charted this today. I didn't chart this last night on stream, but $21 was actually the measured move of the ascending triangle it made, which was a bullish continuation pattern that already played out. The target was 2058 exactly, which is why I have a red line there, and that is where it reversed. Then this morning I put out a tweet saying there's a very good chance it'll go down to 1572. Literally, it's on my Twitter. Just go on Twitter and search up Fubo Champion Vibe in the search bar and you're going to see it. The price was $18. And I said you're probably going to go to 1572 next to fill the gap, and you maybe could bounce there. It hasn't done that yet, but the reason it could bounce there is because it was the previous resistance of the ascending triangle, and it would also be a gap fill. So 1572 could be a bounce level. If it doesn't bounce there, the next support is probably like 1475, which is the demand line of the ascending triangle. So again, currently 2 for 2 on Fubo calls from literally last night and this morning. This is my third one. Don't know if it'll play out. It's not financial advice, but there could be a bounce at 1572. I used probability on the first 2 calls I made and it worked out perfectly. Now I'm using probability on the third call, but it's just probability. It's not certainty because there's never certainty in trading. Oh yeah, appreciate it. Caption, Armand, Joshua, and Jared. I will take a look at Kern. So thank you to 30 people here. 100 playbacks on the stream. Drop a like on the stream if you support what I'm doing, and let's keep it rolling. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to, we have a lot to go through, guys. Let's go to PLTR from Jake Thomas. Again, I might be skipping some here. I just can't get through every single one of them, so I'm sorry. So PLTR hit an all-time high today. And the only thing I can do on this chart, let me look at the daily. Wait, I'm trying to see where the MACD was from. Alright, so here's another thing. I charted PLTR back when the price was about $10, and I showed that there was 1 hour hidden bullish divergence. Since I charted that 1 hour hidden bullish divergence at $10, the price went up 58%. So if you want to learn about divergence, this course video number 8 on my channel, there is a link to my free course in the description of this video. So yeah, it reversed with the hidden bullish divergence, ran all the way up to $16, currently at an all-time high. I will definitely try to take a look at Macy's and Penn, but here's what I am gonna do for Palantir now. We're gonna use Fibonacci from the last swing high to the last swing low. It exceeded a 4.236 extension, so there is no resistance. Who knows how high it can go? I don't. Usually when things have no Fibonacci resistance or horizontal resistance, psychological resistances could be reversal areas. The next psychological resistance after $15 is $20. An example of this would be actually on a crypto. Here you can see Chainlink, which is a cryptocurrency, and it went from like $1 to $20 this year, and look where it exactly reversed at. Literally $20. Hold up, I'm trying to get it lined up perfectly. Literally 20.00 is where Chainlink reversed at because it was the psychological resistance. There was no Fibonacci extension, there was nothing looking left. It hit 20 and then it reversed all the way down to 770. So that's how psychological resistance works. And that is PLTR. There's just not much I can do at an all-time high. It could easily hit $20. It could easily pull back because of how much it is already up. So honestly, it's kind of like flipping a coin at this point. If you bought it where I talked about it on stream, maybe take profits. And if you're looking to enter, I'm sorry, you're probably gonna have to flip a coin because there's just not much of an edge technical analysis can give you right now, since it's at an all-time high and it passed the 4.236 Fibonacci extension. It can literally crash tomorrow or it can go to $20. I just don't know. And they have earnings tomorrow, so add that to the list. Literally, it's a coin flip. They have earnings, all-time high, no resistance, but it's already up like 60%. So literally a coin flip at this point. I really hate to just not give you a good answer, but I don't want to say BS. I just want to be honest. There's just not much I can do here. So after PLTR, Justin, I know you requested like 5 different things, but just for the sake of time, I can't go through all of them. So I'm gonna look at Rocket because I've been going over Rocket like every single day on stream. So we're gonna look at Rocket from Justin Hoskins. Rocket is right here. FVAC, I will definitely try to take a look at. Okay, so Rocket. I talked about this last night. I pretty much said since there was earnings yesterday, it didn't really drop, but it was failing to break the resistance, and the 4-hour MACD was waning. So I literally said yesterday on stream, it's looking like it's a failed breakout. It hit the resistance line of the falling wedge, and it was just really failing to close above it. So then today it went down 2.5%, and honestly, it could easily come down to $20, which is the next support on Rocket. So yeah, it just kind of failed to break out of the falling wedge. If it ever does break out the falling wedge, the targets are 24, which was your resistance on October 14th, and the next target is 25, which was your resistance on August 7th and September 7th. So yeah, it's just not looking as good as it initially did. I posted it when it was like 1985, so it ran up like 13% after that. And then I warned on stream yesterday, it didn't look like it could break the resistance in the short term, but maybe it will eventually. That's usually how a falling wedge will go. The one thing that does look good though is actually it's not looking as good. There was classic bullish divergence on the daily, but today you got a lower level of momentum. So that could also start waning, to the downside. But that's just off the top of my head. We have not seen that yet, so you just want to look at it. But yeah, the daily candle wasn't too great either. It could definitely backtest $20 and maybe bounce there. If it doesn't bounce there, there's not a lot of support after that, so you do not want to fall under $20 on Rocket. Otherwise, you could literally see like 17. So just watch what it does in this range. You want it to break the yellow line, and you do not want it to break under the green line. So that is Rocket. And for the 25 people here, hit that like button. Let's get to, let me see how many likes we're at. Let me take a quick gander. We are currently at 23 likes. Let's get to 30 likes. Thank you for 507 subscribers. I hit 500 today, so thank you for that as well. Let's get to 30 likes. 30 likes if you're watching. Literally just tap the like button. What about the news of Rocket? Alright, there's a few different chats I missed. So what about the news of Rocket buying half the float? Does that affect the stock more than the technicals? The answer is probably. When things like shares get involved, it typically affects the stock more than technicals could, because technicals are about probability and catalysts are about like literal company actions. So it probably will affect it more, but it hasn't really affected it too much yet. Wasn't down too crazy today. We're just gonna have to see how it plays out. Remember, if you have good risk management and position sizing, you should never be worried. You might have to take a loss, but you always need to enter a trade with an idea of how much you're willing to risk on it. So that's just a little rant I can give you on risk management. The CEO is not happy the stock is so cheap. Honestly, I don't really understand how Rocket is so cheap. From a fundamental standpoint, I think Rocket should be at a much higher price, and it was at a much higher price at the beginning of September. I'm not too sure why it fell down so much, but it is showing a bullish reversal pattern. It's just a question of when it will break out. There's no way to know that, so you just have to keep on taking a look and analyzing. and optimizing your position for either a bullish scenario or a bearish scenario, which is what I just talked about with the falling wedge and the $20 support. Narissa says numbers of mortgage applications are falling and the rates are increasing. And they did crush earnings, so they could definitely see higher prices. It's just a question of when, you know what I'm saying? If it falls under 20, it might be some time until you see higher prices. But if it can hold $20, you could easily see $24 in the short term. It just depends on what could happen if it gets back down to 20, if it bounces, or if it falls under. $20 is definitely the level to look at on Rocket. And I have not looked at the call options, so I can't really give you an answer there. But yeah, the news was interesting for sure with the shares. Malachi, I will look at SPY. I just want to get through a couple of the previous requests. So now we're gonna take a look at Frog by Connor. If you're still here, Connor, let me know. Drop something in the chat. We're taking a look at Frog. No divergence near an all-time low. Earnings were apparently bad, but TradingView messes that up. TradingView messes that up all the time, so just let me know if the earnings were good or not. And it closed right at the resistance, which was pretty much the IPO price at $61, or at least the price it's talking about, or at least the price that TradingView is giving me. TradingView is saying that I opened at 71.90, and then it fell down to 61, and then when it hit 61, it went all the way up to $90. So that is why 61 is the support resistance level, and it closed 60.99. It actually closed right above it. So 60.99 was the pinpoint support level, and it closed at 61.05, so that is good. There is no divergence, but the MACD could go positive soon. The thing to worry about is that there is no support under $57. If it can hold over 57 for long enough, you might get a gap fill to $70. But if it can't hold over 57, it can go to any price. There's just no support under that. But that is Frog. Yeah, Rocket's just one of those stocks where like it can honestly go either way, so just be ready for both ways, you know what I'm saying? However that may be, whether it's a stop loss or adding to your position if the price falls, or whether that is holding or selling if the price goes up. There's two different options to make if the price goes down, and there's two different options to make if the price goes up. So you decide what works best for the place you entered in and how much you want to risk, and make a decision off of that. And that's kind of the same thing with Fisker right now. It can go either way, so just be prepared for both ways, because if the price goes up or down, you have multiple options on how to trade the asset. That's what I can give you for like neutral charts that can do either thing. But yeah. So that was Frog. Now we need to move on to I'm gonna do FVAC, then I'm gonna do LMNL because a few people asked about that. I will try to get to PIC eventually. KP, welcome back to the stream, another person who's in here quite frequently. Let me just try and speed through a bunch of them now, because I was just talking for a bit. Support is 13.15 on FVAC. If that doesn't hold, it could fill a gap to about 12.66. And your resistance is 14.51. No divergence on the 4-hour. No divergence on the daily, and not much of a pattern either. So those are your three levels to look at. If it holds above 13.15 for long enough, it can easily see 14.50. If it falls under 13.15, it'll probably go to 12.66. And Justin and I will try to take a look at Apple as well. And I will also look at OPK. I think I'm gonna look at OPK right now. So we're gonna do OPK and then LMNL. So let's look at OPK, $3.70. I've already looked at this chart before. The major support is 290 and the major resistance is 643, but obviously those are super far apart. There is no divergence on the 4-hour, and there is hidden bullish divergence on the daily. So you have MACD hidden bullish divergence on the daily, which is implying price continuation to the upside. And then the way to target this would be you have a downsloping supply line. Let me just change the color of that so it doesn't get confusing. Then you pull out Fibonacci and then you go from the high to the low. The target here would probably be 434. So it literally broke out and it back tested the breakout with a bullish pin bar. And it also has hidden bullish divergence. So OPK certainly does look bullish on the daily, but then again, it is the daily, so it could take a long time to play out. The higher the time frame, the longer it'll take to play out most of the time. So it's pretty bullish. It's actually really bullish on the daily chart. It broke out and it back tested the breakout, which is exactly what you want on a breakout. It had a bullish pin bar today. It has hidden bullish divergence on the daily, and the target is like 434. That was a previous resistance at the end of October, and it is your 786 Fibonacci extension. So yeah, OPK pretty decent actually. I don't know if this is the best place to enter. The best place to enter was probably when I first noticed, or when one could have first noticed the hidden bullish divergence. I just didn't notice it the last time I looked at it, unfortunately. But you know, there's always more opportunities, and if you're already in it, it actually looks pretty good. So thank you for the chat, Steve. Pretty bullish on the daily, but not too much on the 4-hour. Now we're gonna move on to, what was it called again? Adrian and Amet, are you guys still here? I'm gonna take a look at LMNL for you guys. Alright, let's get it. FCAV, Narissa. Didn't I just like look at that? I don't know, I might be tripping. But let's look at LMNL. Classic bullish divergence on the daily chart. I already looked at this apparently. But the issue is it's under $5.41, which is not good. So although you do have classic bullish divergence on the daily, you had 550 as your support in March, and that could be a very big resistance. So the macro trend is not good. Earnings are tomorrow apparently, and classic bullish divergence on the daily. If they have bad earnings, I have no clue how low the price can go. I don't see any other support. So if they have a bad earnings, the price could literally go anywhere. If they do have a good earnings tomorrow, you could probably come to test 541, and if it breaks 541, you're probably gonna see like a 1037. That's how crazy the downtrend was. But again, that could literally take months because it's the daily time frame, and it was dropping for over a month from $10 to $4.11. But don't really think about 1037 now. You shouldn't even think about it unless 541 is broken. So if they have good earnings, it'll probably test 541, and then the two scenarios there are you break it and you can see much higher prices, and if you reverse there, you're probably going to come back down to 411, which is where the classic bullish divergence is being created. It just really depends on the earnings tomorrow. That can send it either way. And if it is a bad earnings, I have no clue how low this can go. But yeah, if there is good earnings, you're probably going to see 541 soon. And you're going to test that. But that is LMNL. Do I think Fisker will rip on the 15th? I think the 15th is Sunday, so it's not even a trading day, which I think is a good thing. I don't think having like news events on a trading day is a good thing, because a lot of the times, like how we see with Apple often, is even if it is good news, it's pretty much like a sell the hype event. Like people buy the rumor and then sell the news. I'm sure most of you have heard that saying before, and it's a real thing that happens all the time, even if it is a good event. So I think it is definitely good to have the event on a Sunday. And another thing I noticed with Fisker, wait, who even asked me that? Why am I like failing to see where it is? Did that message get deleted? Oh no, Sam H asked me that. Perfect. I just couldn't see it. So what was I getting to? Oh yeah, so one thing I noticed with Fisker, let me go to Fisker real quick because we just did look at LMNO. Yeah, I'm also going to be holding Fisker for a long time, KP. Alright, so let's take a look here. Okay. So, the 26th of October. Monday, 30th. Okay. So if you take a look at Fisker, November 2nd, the price went up 17%. Now if you take a look at Fisker again, that was a Monday, by the way, Monday, November 2nd. Then if you remember on this Monday, which was November 9th, the price went up 34%. So catch what I'm saying here. The last 2 Mondays on Fisker were the biggest percent gains of this rally. November 2nd, which was a Monday, and November 9th, which was a Monday. So last week's Monday and this week's Monday were the biggest days Fisker has had of this rally. Now, the event is on a Sunday, which is the day before Monday. So if the event goes well, you might see the 3rd Monday in a row where Fisker does well. For whatever reason, in the last 2 weeks, I mean, obviously we know the reasons. The Friday before November 2nd was the merger date, and it was at the PCC of the bullish butterfly, which is what sent it to much higher prices last week's Monday. And then this week on Monday, Biden had won the election over the weekend, and Fisker rang the bell on Monday morning. So what I'm like, I wish I could like write this down. So 2 Mondays ago, you had a 17% day with a bounce off the bullish butterfly PCC on the weekend after the merger. Then this Monday, you had a 34% day with a breakout of the falling wedge I posted on Friday. So it broke out on Friday, and then on Monday, it went up 34%. And you also had Fisker ringing the bell on Monday. So I know this is kind of confusing, but on both of the last 2 Mondays, you had the technicals and the fundamentals line up for Monday. Monday 1, Fisker merger and bullish butterfly PCC. Monday 2, Biden winning the election, Fisker bell ringing, and 1 hour falling wedge breakout. So currently it's 2 for 2 on Mondays being good for technicals and fundamentals. So since the event is on Sunday over the weekend, just using probability, for whatever reason, Fisker has been opening the weeks very strong in the last 2 weeks. and over the weekends before those weeks, they had some sort of fundamental catalyst for Monday. So if the technicals look good on this Friday, and the event goes well on Sunday, you're again going to have the technicals and the fundamentals line up for Monday. Does that make sense to you guys? That might have been extremely confusing, but the summary is just the last 2 Mondays, both the technicals and the fundamentals lined up, and the last 2 Mondays were the biggest days of this whole entire rally. So hopefully that makes sense. I might even make a spreadsheet just to post it on Twitter. But that was just like a weird thing I kind of noticed. I kind of felt like Einstein right there. 2 for 2 on Mondays with fundamentals and technicals lining up. Appreciate the support, Connor. And yeah, Frog, it could go either way. Just be careful. I was looking at what, the 4 hour? Yeah, just be careful. If it doesn't hold 61, you're probably going to see 57. And if it can't hold 61, you're probably going to see 70. But yeah, getting back to Fisker. That might have been a little bit weird on how I worded it, but it's 2 for 2 on Mondays, and the event is the day before Monday. So that is my thoughts on the Fisker event. You could get a 3 for 3, just probability, who knows. Currently, in the last 2 Mondays, they were both good, with fundamentals and technicals lining up. Whew, so I got that off my chest. My brain just started going. You know, I like the light bulb up that you see in cartoons, and I was like, whoa. I might have to post that on Twitter in a more digestible format, because that was probably really confusing. Now after that, we're gonna move on to. Alright, so I feel like some of the people who were chatting the tickers before may have left because it just took me so long to get to a lot of them. We dropped about like 8 viewers, we had 30, now we're at 22. So if you're still in the stream and I missed your ticker, type it in the chat right now, and I'm just going to do it in order of what's typed in the chat. Only type one ticker, I'm only going to look at one per person, but I just don't know who is here from before and who isn't. So we're going to go to PIC from KP, and again, if you type something before, drop in the chat right now. We're going to look at Pen from Joe, he did ask for that before. So there's so many different tickers, it's really hard to keep up, and I don't want to be going over something if somebody left the stream. So if you're still here and you asked for something, just drop in the chat to remind me. But yeah, PIC, let me pull out the 200-day moving average. PIC has been stuck between $10 and the 200-day moving average at 10.19. Literally has not moved in pretty much 2 weeks now. And I don't really know how earnings work because I believe this is a SPAC. If it's not a SPAC, it was a recently IPO'd company from last year. I don't know how it originated, but I feel like if it is a SPAC, maybe it's staying over 10 because that might be the redemption price. So if PIC is a SPAC, that probably explains why $10 is being held. KP just confirmed that for me. So yeah, most SPACs have a redemption price of around $10, which is why $10 was resistance on August 19th, and it's currently not resistance, support. $10 was support on August 19th to the 21st, and now $10 is your support again. So this is super simple. Whichever way it breaks is where the price will probably go to. And I've looked at this like every day on stream for the past like week, and it's been the same story. If you can break the 200-day moving average, the price is probably going to go up a lot. And if it falls under $10, which I don't really know how that would work since it is a SPAC, but if it falls under 10, it'll probably go to lower prices, and there's not much support there. And I didn't even know that SPACs could go under 10 before their merger because of the redemption. But if you remember SPAC, the merger for Fisker did obviously go into 10. It went to like 870. So just do your research on how they're exactly running their SPAC, because I don't know too much about the fundamentals of this company. go look at their SEC forms, and it'll probably tell you how the redemption is going to work and what the period is for that. So just do your research on Pivotal. But if it can break the 200-day moving average, it'll probably see much higher prices very fast. So throw the 200-day moving average on your chart if it's not there already. And if PIC breaks the 200-day moving average, it's probably going to go to much higher prices, just because it's been under that for 2 weeks now. And that's only like 20 cents away. Not even from 10.06, it's 13 cents away, because the exact 200-day moving average is $10.19. So that is all I can do on PIC. It's just really not doing anything currently. So it does have a low of 950. Yeah, just do your own research, because I don't know myself. I haven't looked into what PIC is, but I have looked at the chart a couple times, and that's pretty much the read I give every single time. So now we're gonna look at Penn, and then I will look at Alibaba. Okay, Penn. I looked at this chart. I don't remember when, but I showed that there was classic bearish divergence. And since that classic bearish divergence was formed, it went down 28%. And then it rallied back up to the top. It bounced off of almost a 0.382 Fibonacci extension. No divergence on the daily. And it did. Alright, so this explains the recent rally. There was classic bullish divergence on the 4-hour, which I also charted at some point. I don't remember when I looked at this last. But basically, as you can see, it made a lower low on price, but it made a higher low on the MACD. As you can see, from this red island to this red island, it was a lower, no, it was a higher low. You know what I'm saying? The second island was a higher low than the first one, which means classic bullish divergence. And I said this yesterday, but classic divergence implies a reversal of price, and hidden divergence implies a continuation in price of whatever the trend is. So you had classic bullish divergence, and since then it went up 47%. They did have earnings, which were a beat. So that also, you had the fundamentals lining up with the technicals. When the fundamentals and technicals line up at the same time, this is what happens. Penn went up 45% when the fundamentals and technicals lined up at the same time. Fisker went up 65% when the fundamentals and technicals lined up at the same time. The technical here was the PCZ of the bullish butterfly at 935, and the fundamental was the merger, and that is where the price reversed. So the best thing that can ever happen to a stock is the fundamentals and the technicals line up at the same time, and that is what happened on Penn, which is why it's currently rallying. But now let's talk about the future for Penn. Been holding Penn since 28. Wow, man, that is, congratulations to you. But let me see. Take profit level $75 was hit 2 times. So the best place to take profit would have been at 75, which happened on Monday, because that was a previous resistance. So if you asked me about this on Sunday night, I would have told you $75, because that was a previous resistance, and that is exactly where it went up to on Monday. But obviously it fell down since then, and it actually has 4-hour hidden bearish divergence. So this leg up happened with hidden bullish divergence or classic bullish divergence, and now you're getting hidden bearish divergence. And that might sound really confusing. If you want to learn about divergence, it is course video number 8 on my channel. That'll explain to you what I'm currently talking about. The link for my free course is in the description. So yeah, it has hidden bearish divergence, and it kind of like double topped. It hit 75 2 different times and it reversed there. So currently it's kind of bearish in my opinion. It might go to retest 75, and if it ever breaks that, who knows how high it can go. But this does currently look kind of toppy in my opinion. And the support is very clear. The support is $52. So from where the price is currently at, the support is 18% away. So right now would probably be a very good take profit level if you got in at 28. That's, 28 to 63 is a great profit, and it's honestly looking more bearish than bullish right now. So like literally right now is probably a decent place to take profit. But that's completely your decision. I'm not a financial advisor. Whatever you want to risk, that's your choice. I'm just giving you probability, and currently the probability is more lenient towards the bear side than the bull side. But that is Penn. And again, for the 22 people here, I probably missed a bunch of tickers that were requested earlier on, but I don't want to go over something that somebody requested who might have already left the stream. So if you requested something before and you want me to look at it now, drop it in the chat, because I don't even remember where I left off either. And then on top of that, if you support what I'm doing, drop a like, drop a sub. 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, so that should not be one of you. That's just not cool, bro. Free analysis, we're all just vibing over here. If you support what I'm doing, just hit that that red button. It looks like that. It's right on top of my face. It looks like that. It should be somewhere on your screen, and you'll get a notification every time I go live if you also hit the bell. But yeah, I mean, if anybody wants me to look at anything, let me know. Until then, I'm just going to look at tickers that I haven't looked at yet that are in the chat. The first one I see is Apple. I don't know why I clicked on that one. I will look at ARKG. But let's look at Apple first from Justin. Why did my chart get deleted? Okay, it didn't. So I looked at Apple yesterday on stream and I said it had a double bottom, but I said I also didn't like how it was kind of falling back down a little bit. And today it proved me wrong and it started moving back up. So now it is starting to actually look like a double bottom again. A double bottom is a bullish reversal pattern, and it's looking good. Your first resistance is 125 and your second resistance is 137. And it might have just dropped because it might have just been like a buy the rumor, sell the news for the event that took place yesterday, which would explain why a lot of people sold on Monday. What has pretty much happened like the last 3 times Apple had an event is the price went down like the day before and the day of the event. That's just what's been happening with Apple. So that might explain why the double bottom kind of got a little bit scuffed over here. But since the event is moving back up in price and the double bottom looks pretty decent. So 125 is the first target of the double bottom, which is like the neckline. And if it breaks 125, the target would be all-time highs, because that's the measured move of the double bottom. And the way to get a measured move is you go from the lowest point to the neckline and then you copy and paste it. And I already have it there, so you can see. Yeah, the measured move is all-time highs. But of course, you also have to get past the previous all-time high of $137. So be careful with that. But it looks pretty good. No divergence or anything. Yeah, no divergence, but it does look pretty decent. And if you look at it like this on the 4-hour, it actually broke out of the supply line or the resistance line. It broke out of it, and it also back tested it as support. So Apple is looking pretty bullish right now, and the probability says it'll get to $125 in time. Looks pretty decent. So now we have ARKG and Baba, and then NCLH from Evan. For the 19 people here, thank you for still being here after an hour and 17 minutes. And again, thank you guys for 500 subscribers. It means a lot. So let's look at ARKG. And these are probably going to be my last 3 for the night. I'm going to call it there. So ARKG has hidden bullish divergence on the daily. I'm just trying to show it the best way. Alright, as you can see, it has hidden bullish divergence on the daily. That got confirmed today, as you can see that one little green wick, which implies price continuation to the upside. And then in terms of a pattern, you have a channel. Let me show you what that channel kind of looks like. Something like that. Trying to make it look the best. Yeah, there you go. That is your channel on ARKG, and the MACD is implying that what could happen next is it goes to retest the resistance, and that would be at around 81.80, and that would also be your new all-time high. This is an ETF, and it looks pretty good in my opinion. Very clear channel with hidden bullish divergence, bounced off the support line. It's probably gonna retest $76, and if it breaks that, it'll probably go to around like $81, and then your support is just this upsloping demand line. And if that support ever breaks, your next support would be $51. So you really never want to break this upsloping support line. If it does break, there's not a lot of support under you until 51, which is a horizontal support, and also where your 200-day moving average currently is. Hey, what up world? Hope to see you in the Vibe League. Just looking through some stocks right now. And keep crushing it in COD, bro. The Burger Goat himself. But that is ARKG. Now let's move on to Baba from Adrian. And I think I looked at this last night actually. Hey, yeah, keep crushing it world. So what I talked about on Baba last night was that it broke out of this upsloping channel, and that was not good. So Adrian, I don't know if you were here last night, but I did warn about this last night. And it broke out of the channel, and I said the support was 265. As you can see, I already have it charted, and it closed right at 265, so that was a pretty good close today. But if it does fall under 265, 240 will probably be next, which was your support in the beginning of July, and it's also where the 200-day moving average currently is. And again, if for the 20 people here, if you want me to look anything, just drop it in the chat. Probably going to be ending the stream in like 5-10 minutes. Just going to do a couple more and then close it up. So yeah, 265, if that can be held, you might go to fill the gap at 290. If 265 cannot be held, you're probably going to see 240, just because there's really no support until then. But that is ARKG. Now we're going to move on to, oh no, that was Alibaba. Now we're going to move on to NCLH from Evan Lay, or Lee, I don't know how to pronounce it. So he requested NCLH, and let me take a look. It's currently, it broke the 200-day moving average, and now it's back testing it as support. So not bad there. Be careful because there is now a gap to about $17. If it falls back under the 200-day moving average, it probably will see $17 again. So be careful with that. But it's actually currently at a support level, which was the previous resistance in the beginning of September. So this could actually be a bounce area right now, and if it doesn't bounce here, it'll probably go back to $17. You're just gonna have to see, and then your next resistance is 27. So Steve is requesting OPES. I will definitely take a look at that. Yeah, NCLH, which is Norwegian Cruise Lines. The fundamentals are not great right now, but it did just have a gap up on Monday. A lot of retail and value stocks went up on Monday, and then a lot of growth tech stocks pulled back on Monday. I actually predicted that on my Saturday live stream over the weekend, and my reasoning behind that. Appreciate the support, Evan. My reasoning behind why I thought value could go up and growth could go down was because since Biden won, that pretty much implies that taxes are going to be raised for I don't know the exact proposal, and I don't want to get too political, but it does affect trading. So taxes would be raised, which would be a little bit detrimental to the higher market cap companies because a lot of their shareholders are in retirement accounts, and higher tax rates could just be a little bit tough on them. So I think that is why we saw tech drop on Monday, which is what I was literally talking about on my Saturday live stream over the weekend. But NCLH, with a lot of other value stocks, bounced on Monday, kind of had the money move from growth to value on Monday morning, and it's actually starting to reverse like already, where tech had a pretty decent day today. The QQQ crushed it, which is like a tech index. So tech had a really good day today, and then a lot of value stocks like Norwegian had a pretty bad day today. But Norwegian could bounce at 1911, and if it does bounce off of 1911, it can easily see much higher prices. So yeah, 1911 will pretty much tell the tale. If it falls under, probably going to fill the gap to 17. If it bounces, you're probably going to see much higher prices. That is Norwegian Cruise Lines. And now we're going to look at the last ticker for the night, OPES. For the 17 people here, if you haven't already, it is much appreciated if you could hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Just free analysis, and excited to see where this goes. So if you support what I'm doing, help out the stream a little bit, it goes a long way. So to close out the night, OPES, which is this also a SPAC? Steve, can you let me know? Because it does say Acquisition Corp, and most of those are obviously SPACs because they mean Special Purpose Acquisition Corp. But if this is a SPAC, it probably makes a lot of sense why it's currently finding support at around $10, because most SPACs have a redemption price at around $10. So your support is $10.58 currently. And let's see if you have any divergence. You did get divergence, but literally nothing happened after that. This chart actually looks a lot like PIC, where your support is $10 and your resistance would pretty much just be the 200-day moving average, which is $11.58. There's just not much to do aside from that. It looks newly created as well, so it might be some time until the merger. But then again, I know nothing about this company, so you're gonna have to do that research yourself. No divergence on the daily chart either. So yeah, pretty much all I can do here. The price just isn't moving, so there's not much for me to do here. Your resistance is the 200-day moving average, and Steve just did confirm for me that it is a SPAC. So yeah, your resistance, 200-day moving average, and your support is $10.58. Just not much else to do because the price has not moved in about 2 weeks now. Literally like the same exact thing as PIC. Like it looks like the same exact chart, just in between $10 and the 200-day moving average. Like I could probably compare it. Look, if I put PIC on this chart, you can see PIC is the line, and then OPES the candles, both of them just completely straight after a big rundown. That's pretty much all I can show you. They're just not moving, and the resistance is the 200-day moving average. Joshua says, thanks champ, keep up the great work and activity on social. You'll be up to 1k subscribers in no time. Man, hitting 1k would be insane. Like, that's just a major dream for me, and that would be, I just can't even really comprehend that right now, but hopefully it does happen in the near future. I'm just gonna keep on grinding, keep outputting. My grammar just messed up there. I've been talking for a while. I'm gonna keep on putting out great content for you guys and streaming free analysis. Steve is saying this is gonna become BurgerFi after merger. I am a pretty big fan of BurgerFi. I've had BurgerFi a lot. I used to live in Miami, and it was right next to where I lived in Miami. And BurgerFi hits, bro. I love BurgerFi. So yeah, that is the last talk of the night. Thank you guys for coming out. To the 17 people here, don't forget to drop a like, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Everybody have a great night. Have a good day tomorrow. Trade safely, manage your risk, and make profits. Peace out, everybody.